Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this special holiday edition of The People's Duchess. I'm so excited about today's episode, going over the best of 2024. And oh my gosh, y'all know I love a deep dive into this woman's closet. This year was the year of the halter. Unlike last year, where we saw a lot of quiet luxury, blended sad beige, this year was all about vibrancy, color, interesting patterns, textures, and skin. I do want to get into some of these headlines that I've come across. This Vogue headline declaring Meghan has well and truly left the quote unquote royal dressing behind her really tickled me. It's not surprising to see her on best dressed list after list. We've talked about this in previous episodes. We talked about this in Reitman's Really. We talked about this in Bin Royal. She's a student of design. She knows about fabric and color theory. So it's not surprising that she would always land on these best dressed lists. I'm just obsessed with the uniqueness of her style. I love when she comes out in clothes that would otherwise look quite plain on the hanger. Her South by Southwest outfit, for example, would look quite plain on a hanger. But when Meghan styles it the way she did, it looked so cute and professional, and it really took on new life, right? That yellow Carolina Herrera panel gown is a work of art. Her red Herrera with the detachable ball gown skirt is a work of art. Her fashion choices are also really deliberate. I will always remember that royal tour of Morocco and how she wore a Karen Walker runaway ring. And at the time, I was just very surprised to see the name of that ring. And I thought, running away from what? But of course, we didn't know the extent of how bad it was. So we get this hilarious article from Vogue. It's great. I love this article. They talk about the differences between Harry and Meghan's tours, but particularly Meghan in her sartorial choices. And they call out the boldness and the fun and the playfulness and pretty much just the stark contrast between these engagements and the engagements she undertook as part of the royal family. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Meghan was a working royal and she came to present an award to her wedding dress designer, Claire Waite Keller, at the British Fashion Awards and wore this gorgeous black velvety Givenchy one shoulder gown with a slit. She looked stunning. She was wearing gold accessories, gold shoes. She looked so good. And I was very surprised by the reaction of the British media. I'm not going to go over it again. I think it's been gone over with a fine-tooth comb, but suffice it to say that there were definitely protocols set in place for Meghan that were not set in place for anyone else. And quick sidebar, but can we discuss how good Rosamund Pike looked? I am loving this chrome breastplate turtleneck situation, the Dracula tuxedo dress. It's brilliant. And one thing I really love about Rosamund Pike, if you see her in a movie in this hairstyle, that movie is going to be horrifying. If she shows up in a bob, it's going to be horrifying, but with like a comedic twist. But anyways, I digress. Back to Shouldergate. This had more to do with how good she looked in these types of clothes, how sexy and stunning she looked, than anything else. Queen Elizabeth was just not very pretty. And that's not to say she was a horrible looking woman or anything, but she was just not that stunning, radiant beauty. So no one cared when she wore clothes like this. Not to say that she didn't look good in those clothes, it's just specifically highlighting that there are different reactions to the exact same stimulus. I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but there was a tension in Fiji that I couldn't make sense of. Harry seemed particularly agitated, and from these pictures, Meghan looked like she was very much befuddled. Hugh Grant befuddled about what she had just read in the paper and the backlash online. the hateful rhetoric on social media following that lie heard around the world. I don't like all the harm that was caused, but I do appreciate that they showed their true colors and everyone could just move on in that truth. It's very notable in the way that she dresses now, very relaxed, unlike her royal tour wardrobe, which was beautiful as well, but so stiff. Just very much what she thought a princess should look like versus her stepping into the role as her full self. So they're having a great time. They're having a really great time. Harry's leaving the resting military face to the military guys protecting them. And it's a really great contrast. The side by side made me chuckle. They have successfully and fully divested from, well, the place that broke them. And for this, I applaud them. It's not easy to physically divest from an environment that you find yourself struggling in. You can come into a situation with good intentions and be well meaning and it still not work out. The article goes on to say she's obviously showing a little skin, showing a little shoulder, giving them a little back, a little front, a little cutout here and there. And there's nothing wrong with showing it off. You put in the hard work, you deserve the rewards of that. And I would do the same. Kudos to you, girly pop. What was your favorite outfit from 2024? Mine was that stunning red Orire dress she wore in Nigeria, and I love the Heidi Merrick that she wore in Wellington back in April at the polo fields. The beautiful cutout in the front, the bow in the back, charming. Prince Harry looked amazing. The pictures speak for themselves. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you're being kind, and I will see you next time. Bye.